It's the Green Rush Nation podcast. I just had the bluest dream that you've ever seen, and I can't believe that shit was green, cause it hit so clean, and my history is a mystery. I don't give a fuck, I just hit the tree on the 5th degree. We don't pit for free. If you don't got 5 shit, get up and leave. It's the Green Rush Nation podcast. Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back with another episode of the Green Rush Nation podcast, the highest podcast in the world. And today we have special guests. They're actually in retail stores along with just being in the cannabis industry. It's our friend Sean and Becky from Your Highness.
Hey, what's good?
What up, what up? We appreciate you guys coming out. How was the travels coming in?
It was good.
Good. Yeah. Not too bad?
It's a bit of a drive for us right now. We used to live around the corner from here. San Fernando Valley's like home of Your Highness. We
lots of trap houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
We started out here, North Hollywood, Van Nuys, Panorama, fucking Encino, Woodland Hills, all this.
So you're no stranger.
We've lived in every part of the valley pretty much, and trapped and worked and had
grinded.
Just participated in the legacy market in the valley, and that's where Becky came up with the name and everything. So, but right now the drive is like an hour for us. Yeah.
That's not terrible considering LA. That's not the worst.
As long as you plan it out, it's fine.
Yeah.
You get stuck in that 5 o'clock bullshit, and it's a fucking nightmare. It doubles the time.
It's
really.
like an hour though, like going full speed, which is
like no traffic.
no traffic.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. So that's a little bit of a
different.
difference. Yeah.
It hits different than like being in traffic for an hour.
It's actually far as opposed to going fucking one city over for an hour.
So how does it feel to come home?
It's great. I love it. I can't wait to move back down to this area.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Looking forward to it.
So I want to bring you guys back a little bit because here on the Green Rush Nation podcast, we don't want to just know about your journey and your business, and we want to know about you guys personally. So if you remember, when was the first time you encountered marijuana, and do you remember how you smoked it?
Yeah.
So let's go. We'll go with you first.
All right. So, the first time I encountered weed was probably like in 7th or 8th grade. There was just like kids at school that had it.
Okay.
It's probably just some like, back then it was like you could get green or brown. There was no real, we were young kids, so like there was no real differentiation between it. It was
weed
just
was
like
weed.
there was 2 different kinds of weed.
Okay.
That was pretty clear from the very beginning. And then I didn't smoke until like 8th grade summer going into high school, or maybe in the end of 8th grade. Did a lot of went to church and shit a lot, and
I'm sure they weren't encouraging.
Yeah, it was just not into it, but went with my brother and my homie Brandon, who lived around the corner from this other kid we went to school, or these girls we went to school with, and just went to their house, smoked out of a metal pipe in the backyard.
Okay.
Pretty common. Glass pipes were super, super rare. This was this had to be 98.
Okay.
No, maybe before that.
And when you say metal pipe, it was like a piece of plumbing?
No. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. It does sound like that. I thought people don't know. These pipes would be sort of ornamental, not like brass, but some type of metal that all screwed together. So there'd be the little mouthpiece would screw on.
I know what you're talking about.
Then there'd be these 2 pieces. There'd usually be a chamber that you could you would put weed in the chamber, and then you would smoke weed. You put the weed inside the pipe, not as a filter or anything, but to catch the resin. So you would get a resonated bud, and then you would that would be oh, now we're gonna smoke the resonated bud.
There you go.
But obviously that's the most probably like the least fucking good possible thing you could do. Is ridiculous. So metal pipe, it all screws together. It looks like I don't know, like an opium pipe or something. Like
okay,
it looks like a I don't know. It doesn't look like anything you would smoke out of weed out of nowadays.
Okay.
But at the time, it was like that was the thing. It was like there was these things called sneakatokes that were like this big. There was just a metal chamber that you could just pack weed in, and had a literal like metal screen.
It's like a one hitter.
Nah, they made them bigger, so it was like one hitter, but like a bit wider, and you could fit it in your hand, and you could probably pack like a half gram maybe in it, or maybe a little bit more, depending on how broken down the flower was. And then, so we smoked off the metal pipe. Honestly, it didn't get like super high, get definite like head change, but didn't have any sort of negative experience. It was just kind of like, this is weird. And then like everyone was like just paying attention to me, like just trying to fuck with me and like talk to me and shit. And like
they knew it was your first time.
Yeah. And so then I was just like, all right, like this was a cool experience. It was just like cool hanging out with everybody and whatever. And so, and I wanted to get, at that point I was like, oh, I already smoked weed. I might as well like try to get high and see what, like smoke again and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then, I think we smoked again like the next day, and it was like, all right. It just kept getting better and better. Yep. I was just like, all right, cool. Like
that's a typical story. Once you have a good time, then it's just a good time and a good time every time. You know?
And then I smoked like consistently. I was just off to the races after that.
There you go. So ever since then, that was it. You were a smoker.
Yeah. I used to leave my house at 6 a.m. to go smoke weed before school.
Beautiful.
Just tell my mom, like, yeah, we're going to go meet my friend who lives way up there. We're going to go to his house. And
there you go.
And then he would be outside my door, and we'd just go down to the creek and try not to get arrested.
Beautiful. And shit, before school, they say it makes you lazy. You were out here getting it before you even had to be to school. So
yeah.
That's good. That's good. It was motivating
you. Motivating. The school part, maybe. Not so motivated.
But didn't you smoke so much you got like a nosebleed or something one time?
Yeah, that happened later on for sure.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
That was a combination of things.
So what about you? Do you remember your first time?
Well, my first time with weed, like my dad grew weed.
Okay.
So like I always was like, what is that? What is he doing with that? And it, I could always smell it. He grew it in the garage. And so I was like familiar that it was something that like gave you an altered state of mind.
Okay.
Then, in high school, 8th grade, I started hanging out with like the misfits that would just like really just ditch school. And so I eventually grabbed some of his stash that he grew, and then I brought it over to the ditch house, and then we all just tried to smoke weed, either out of those things that burned your throat super bad or an apple, and then finally we like upgraded to a bong eventually. But yeah, so
beautiful. One of my first experiences smoking weed was a Poland Spring bottle. We don't even have those out here, so it's a water bottle, and we just put like a pen cap in that shit, and it made a makeshift bong, and it worked for us at the time. But probably the worst.
Yeah, we eventually experimented with like gravity bongs and stuff like that. We were just always trying to smoke different ways.
We made this gravity bong out of like a gallon juice container one time, and then we just put the metal bowl just like somehow like maybe, I don't know if we drilled a hole or what, but just got the metal bowl sort of like through the cap, and it, homeboy, and we just smoked, I think it was like a big ass bowl full of shake, and my homie just cleared it, and the smoke was like yellow, orange, and he cleared the whole thing, and he just ran into the bathroom. It was just like yacked up like fucking looked like a highlighter, fucking yellow, orange shit. Dude, Jesus. It was just, I think it was just like, I don't know, melted plastic and some kind of crazy resin or something. It was gnarly, bro. I was
the grav bongs will remind you that weed will always get you high. You know, like it really will.
That that day. Nobody went back to school.
Oh, I would imagine. Did everyone rip it, or he was like the guy who ripped it and everyone's like, fuck that?
Yeah,
I
like, no thanks.
I think he went the hardest. I think that was like, oh, pack it fuller and like make it hotter, like multiple lighters. Like it was a problem. Yeah.
That's when it always goes bad, when people take it to that next level.
Yeah.
But so how far did you guys always know each other? Did you like meet when you were younger, or you met? So let's talk about that a little bit. Where along your cannabis journey did you guys cross paths? And I guess, I'll let you guys take that away.
Well, I was friends with his brother, and he introduced me to Sean.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not super too
There you
exciting,
go.
but
Yeah.
And you guys,
immediately clicked. And one of the first things that he asked me was if he could put his veg in my apartment.
okay.
Because he was growing at that time.
There you
And
go.
I, without hesitation, was like, yeah, absolutely. Like I told you, my dad grew weed, so I was like already pretty familiar with, it's just growing plants, and didn't scare me.
Okay.
So I was just like, yeah, whatever I can do to help you out.
Beautiful.
Let me partner in on this.
Hell yeah. So you started as a grower.
Yeah. So
Where did you start? Let me
I
ask that
got
question.
I got hurt working a job. So obviously I was smoking, and a big fan of the culture. And then I got hurt on a job, broke my ankle, my back, my arm, all at the same time. Fell like through this warehouse, fell like 22 feet.
Jesus.
And then when I recovered from that, it took a long time. It took like 9 months before I could like walk without crutches and shit.
Goddamn. So I'm sure that was like an experience that just fucking put life into perspective.
I mean, kind of like it definitely, like I never had a job again. Like
there you go.
So like, yeah, in that sense, yeah, like it definitely solidified like, why would I go and like risk or even spend my time doing something for someone else? Like, because I've always been like entrepreneurial, and I've always been like just like wanting to take whatever it is that I'm most interested in and make that sort of my profession. So yeah, so like when I was in high school, I got into like using like, this is gonna sound like a drug, acid 1.0. It was like a early sort of beat making music production software. And then Fruity Loops, which also doesn't have a great name.
Familiar with Fruity Loops,
yeah. Had my homeboy, shout out Eric, his my Asian homeboy, his dad got us some crack software, and so then had Fruity Loops like 3. And then so I was just like getting into music production, like super heavy. Had a job in high school, was just like buying all the music shit that I needed, speakers. And
so I'm sure in that music production life, you saw that weed was pretty intertwined with that side of things.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I was getting out there and like networking at that point. I was in high school. I was like a fucking junior in high school. So it was like me and my homie, it was mostly just me and this dude Eric would like link up, smoke, make beats at his house, or
and what kind of beats were you making at the time?
Like we started out with just like acid was like sample packs they'd give you. So it was like just like flipping samples and like rearranging stuff, and then not so much flipping samples, but like just rearranging stuff that was already kind of pre-made and you could pitch it up and down. You could do some stuff. So it was like that. And then from there, we immediately got into like record sampling and like actual chopping and like flipping samples and like
real
making
DJ
hip hop shit. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so that was what I was into, like more the underground scene at the time. Like we just did Rhyme Fest. So
beautiful,
like,
yeah. Shout out to Rhyme Fest.
Yeah, that was like a full circle moment for me. Like a lot of the artists, a lot of the people that were popped up there, it was like those were like idols, people that I wanted to work with
for sure.
In the music game. So like I was doing music. I recorded, mixed, produced, and released like a bunch of albums with my brother.
Did you ever do vocals, or you were always just on
No,
production
no,
side?
I did vocals.
Okay,
yeah.
cool, very
Hella
cool.
good
Yeah.
rapper.
Dope,
It's
hell
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Eternal
So-
on YouTube. Check it out.
Or it's
Check 'em
on,
out.
it's on Apple Music. Yeah, so we did like 3-4 albums, 5 albums, mixtapes. And then like through all that, we were like playing concerts and like going out and like promoting it. And so like we did a lot of networking through that, and that was very like entrepreneurial. Like we sold CDs, we did that whole backpack,
Absolutely.
Bay Area shit. We were up in NorCal, so it was like very influenced by like Living Legends and Zion I and like Too Short and
Okay.
E40 and all these guys that were like just on some independent shit.
For sure.
And so that was like the mindset, like we could just like do the shit ourselves. And then got hurt, got better, got a medical card, started to grow, got put on by this girl, my roommate's girlfriend. Really like hooked us up with the electrician, the clones, took us to the grow store, gave us a book. But I was the one that read the book. I was the one that read the instructions on the fucking nutrients.
Okay.
I was the one that like that financed all the grow equipment. It was basically my shit from the very beginning. Even though I told everyone, it was like, oh, I'll do this for us. It was really like nobody gave a fuck like I did. And so, and then I figured out, then they brought us like some cuts. They were like, oh, this is OG. So I was like, okay, now I need to learn how to make clones because I need to keep this shit around because we have OG and it's 2006. Like we're golden. Like we're about to make some money. And we did. We sold the pounds for like $5K out in LA, but like it wasn't OG. So it was like we had like a year of selling these pounds out here to the shops. We just pull. You used to be able to just go on the internet and look at Cal Normal, and it would have every store. And so you could just call them and say, hey, I'm a vendor. I want to come through. I want to show you my extra medicine.
Okay.
And they'd be like, yay, nay, whatever. And you get like, 10 appointments lined up. I drove from NorCal all the way down to LA and brought this OG to the stores and, got some good tickets. And then that was like 2006, 2007 came back with the next the next batches. And it was like, get the fuck out of here. This is not it.
Oh shit.
OG went from like, no one really knew what it was. There was a few versions. It was kind of some stores had it, some didn't, to like complete saturation in like 1 year. Yeah. And so
what was it if it wasn't OG?
Some people that I was associated with said that it was like this strain called Halloween.
Interesting.
Don't know what it was. I mean, we hit to a light with it and on some 600 watt HPSs, like ended up selling those pounds for like crazy, stupid story. You learn by your mistakes sometimes. Came down to LA, got shut down at like 39, 42, whatever I was trying to sell them for. Left with them, pissed. It's like, fuck these people. They don't know what they're talking about. Like they bought it last time, Went back with the weed all the way back up to NorCal. Came back down like a month later or whatever it was, 2 months later. Went back to some new appointments, but ended up having to go to the same people, some of the same people again. And they offered me like 36. And because I went in there and said, I was just here with this, you offered me 38. I want the 38 that you offered me. And they're like, nah, I'm getting you 36. And they're like, and I told them, nah, fuck you. Yeah. Kick rocks. And I left again, went back with the weed back home. Came back again and said, all right, I'll take the 36. And they were like, no.
32.
30, 34, 32. Yeah, it was some shit like that. And I was like, all right, fuck it. And so I just...
Speaking nowadays, that still sounds like a fucking
great
deal.
Yeah.
But like shit.
So to put that in today's numbers, it would be like going from like 1,700 down to 600 or some shit like that. Yeah. It felt bad at the time.
For sure.
It did not feel good.
And what was it? Was it the quality of the run, or it wasn't OG?
It didn't have the nose. It didn't have the it kind of had the structure. Kind of had like a look to it that was it definitely was like not like a opposite. It was just like some kind of kush, like maybe like a Bubba or like a some kind of like, there was a lot of kushes floating around, like Hindus and masters and stuff like that. So it could have been something like that. Some kind of hybrid. There was a lot of seed popping going on up in NorCal, so
I would imagine
a lot of people were, just buying seeds out of High Times or off websites or whatever, and taking cuts to the dispensaries and stuff. You could get really unique stuff back then.
I'm sure.
So
it was still newer than it is now, and now it's still pretty new, like I would say.
yeah, and I mean that was just the safest way to like get your own plants, right? It was like to grow from seed, and then these guys would just clones were selling like candy, right?
Oh,
You
yeah,
could
for
get
sure.
$10 a cut.
We had Mota on, and he talked about that a lot in the beginning. People couldn't understand that people were literally just coming to him for like these little things that were in a box, and then he's like, "What the fuck? Who's paying you for this?" You know, like, and he's like, "It's clones. People want them." You know,
Bro, yeah,
We sold a lot of
we
clones.
sold a
Yeah.
lot.
A lot.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
we made a lot of money on clones.
So you were in North Cal in the beginning. When did you come down here? When did you guys come down this
in
way?
2007/8, like New Year's Eve, basically, right in December 2007, I moved to LA. 2008 to manage a studio for a MIDI Mafia. So was like pretty heavily involved in the music industry at that point.
So now you knew that weed and music was like this.
You know, even these guys didn't really smoke at all.
Really?
Yeah, these dudes didn't. And so there wasn't like a culture of like people coming through and smoking. And anyone that did, it wasn't like, it was a rented studio, so it wasn't like you could just smoke up like in the space. So most people, if they were smoking, which I didn't really notice anyone who was, it was like they were probably just saying that they were going to go to the store or they were going to get lunch or whatever, and then they would go smoke. Like I think the studio just didn't attract like that type of like. I think that
specific
studio,
studio?
that type of the studio, the group. I just think that like that just wasn't. I think people that want to smoke all like in the studio go to the studios that have that culture, right? And so there's a lot of shit going on in LA all the time. So it's like you're gonna find your way to your people.
Absolutely.
So yeah, eventually we did get around like guys like Tricky Stewart and like some other producers that were like had that type of culture around them, and so like definitely did see it.
I'm just pretty surprised to hear it out here in California. I just thought any artist, if you're in the studio, you're probably smoking up.
I mean,
Probably now.
Now for sure.
Probably
Like,
now
now for
more
sure.
than ever. Yeah, I think
Now I can firmly say I've never been to a studio that I didn't smell weed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this just wasn't. But again, it's like you're gonna find your people, right? Like I think that a lot of these writers and producers and aspiring artists and stuff were coming around this place in particular to work, and it wasn't really, there just wasn't a culture of like just like let's kick back and like
Let's
chill and like vibe, and maybe we'll come up with something. It was like, nah, be here at this time, write a fucking song and record that shit and get the fuck out. So it was a lot more like that, or artists coming through to cut records. It was much more of a work environment.
Business. I get it.
Yeah.
So 2007, you come down this way. You're working in the studio. How long after that did you start the brand, basically?
So me and Becky ended up meeting in like
2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple years after.
So we're growing, and we're doing it together. We've partnered on pretty much everything. And then I started to notice that there was branding going on with concentrate companies when we would go, vend into the dispensaries.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, we need to create a name for ourselves. We really need to start a brand and let people know like whose weed they're actually smoking.
For sure.
And he wasn't into it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Why not?
she was like, we need to brand the weed. And I'm just like, well, I thought everyone that was putting their name on the shit, whether it was a made up, brand name or whatever, I was just like, you're just leaving this kind of calling card back to yourself, breadcrumbs. Like, why would you want people to be able to sort of track you down, right?
Because
it's legal, but like we never went through the steps to like get a collective and like do it like fully
the patient route.
Yeah, like we could have and we're connected to those people, but we just didn't just didn't need to. Like, we just thought like, what we're doing is scalable and it's fine. It's like we weren't looking to like just go all out and like go super deep into it. It was more of at that time, kind of a lifestyle business for us. It was growing and it was becoming our full-time thing, but it was like more that period of 2010 to like 2013 was like more of a like, let's just make some money and like go on vacation.
For sure. Lay low.
And like kick it and like have a more of a lifestyle thing.
For sure.
So,
He said no.
so I was against it just from the like the low key aspect of it. I was just like, this kind of goes against sort of what I feel is a good idea. And then
I did it anyways.
was like, she's like, we're going to call it Your Highness. And I was also like, I don't know. That's not my favorite name. And she was like, no, we're doing it. And so
created an Instagram account, started like kind of sponsoring.
And then we had this guy, Double A, who had done some album covers for us out in the Bay. So it was like it was like the only guy I knew that did graphics. So it was like sent him the idea.
Here's the name.
Yep. And he sent. I think this logo was like one of the first 4 he sent.
Really, this
like
one
the
right
original logo.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was like 2013.
Yeah, and then we started like trying to sponsor artists like immediately off the bat.
Okay.
One of the first people that we were like basically gifting flour to in order for promotion was Adam 22.
Okay.
From No Jumper. He did not have No Jumper at that time.
For sure.
But he continuously promoted us on his page and on some shit, and we got up to like 7,000 followers.
Dope.
And then
This is when he was in the BMX phase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
exactly.
Very
yeah.
cool.
And Brandon Began also, he was another one that
Okay.
was always we were gifting to.
And whose idea was it for the artist? Like, where did that come from?
It was a lot of that is all Becky. That's her network.
Okay.
She knew someone who was dating Adam at that time, and then we got introduced to. It was really just like word of mouth, like, hey, he'll do some shit for weed, and we're like, okay, cool.
We got some.
And then
weed.
and then we started like linking up and kicking it with this dude. I remember that one night he was like, I'm gonna start a podcast. I'm gonna fucking call it No Jumper. I'm gonna interview rappers. And I was like,
That's a trip.
He originally helped him with like his sound setup.
Okay.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah,
And we're
because
still homies.
I was an engineer, so I brought like. He had like this mixing board and a bunch of shit in the back and on some shit, and I came through and like helped him dial it in.
There you go.
Shout out Adam.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam. See, since I'm a music head, I actually was super tuned into No Jumper in the beginning because he was really interviewing these artists that like I was fucking with. So I'm like, yo, who is this guy? And like I got to listen to these interviews because now I got to learn some shit. So he was one of the first podcasts that like I really tuned into. You know, it's pretty wild.
We're in one of the
early
one of the
vlogs.
super early vlogs.
Okay.
Like we pull up and like give him some flour, and he like
Fire.
put it in his vlog, and it's like people have been like, "Yo, is this you guys?" And we're like, "Yeah."
That's us.
Don't pay attention to the kid in the back. Just like
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that was pretty successful for you guys. Obviously, 7,000 in just a short period of
yeah,
time.
and it was when you could actually post flour and post cannabis on Instagram.
Yeah.
So we never got deleted. We never got flagged. It was like, it was great.
Yeah, it was good-
Nobody else
good
was also
times.
really doing it at the time.
Okay.
There wasn't very many people actually branding their cannabis.
Got you. So you guys were early to the game.
Very early.
Perfect. And what was like your first kind of products and lines?
We've always been like a flower forward brand.
Perfect.
We did all of our own cultivation at that time. So, around 2014, 15, we started popping seeds.
Okay.
And so we started finding like a lot more of our own varieties. I was pheno hunting for Seed Junkie, just like helping him find, go through his packs, mostly testing like for his commercial releases, just like, hey, run this unreleased, gear a year before I drop it, so that give me pictures, give me, feedback is like, is it good? Is it herming? Is it, stable?
Yeah.
And so, we were doing that with him and a few other breeders. And then, we found, something really good, like right away, and he loved it, and he showed it to a bunch of people, and like that really kicked that shit off for
Do you
us.
remember what it was?
Yeah.
Lemon meringue cake.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Beautiful.
And we dropped it in Jungle Boys, and they were one of the first dispensaries to give us credit, like actually put our name and our logo up on the menu
That's
and
dope.
say that it was from Your Highness and tagged us. I remember that day.
Very cool.
It was super
Was that
cool.
like a I
Shout
made it
out Wax
moment?
Face.
Oh, it
Yeah.
felt like it, man. You know, you keep having them,
And
and it
Nate.
just keeps getting
It's
harder.
crazy.
But
Yeah.
Life's a trip.
yeah,
Life's a
shout
trip.
out Wax Face, shout out Nate.
Yeah.
They were the ones, and
And
Ivan.
Juice and Ivan. Yeah. Shout out all those guys.
And hey, shout out to Jungle Boys, because being from New York, that's a brand that like we knew of heavily.
Yeah.
People in New York wanted
Bro.
Jungle Boys.
Those guys are super inspiring.
Us being associated with Jungle Boys, being in those Jungle Boys stores,
Oh yeah,
made our product somehow appear
for sure.
in New York.
Oh, I would. Anything that gets hot over here always ended up over there, even if it was just a bag.
Yeah, just off the rip, it was like just that pheno hunting and having something exclusive, and then dropping it there, and then people were buying merch, people were wearing merch when we would drop it, they'd line up wearing
Dope.
our shit. It was
So is that where the
it
merch
really
came in?
popped off. I mean, yeah, that is where the merch came in, and Becky again like spearheaded all that. Had a website where were we drop shipping? No, we were shipping it ourselves.
Yeah, we were shipping it ourselves.
And
Yeah.
at first, was it just like, oh, we need merch, so you had merch, or did it always be like, we want to have a quality, something that we could sell in
No,
stores?
it was just like, let's just make it.
Put the brand on
Let's not. I mean, it's a lot different nowadays. It was just like at that time, it wasn't like you could fucking make a shirt on demand. Like
Yeah.
that didn't exist. It was like, let's just scramble to like figure this out and make whatever we can make. Like we weren't trying to capitalize on it per se, but we were just trying to do cool shit quickly. So it was like, who do we know that could actually do the shit? What graphic? When we got some graphics made by some other artists, we were like, this is sick. We should put this on a shirt, I guess.
It sold out.
And it,
This lemon meringue monster that we made, people
think-
bought it.
Beautiful.
that was very early on that was very early, like Prop 64 in California. Jungle Boys was just doing their first sort of strain graphics. It was like strain graphics where Cookies was starting to do strain graphics. It was just kind of like this era of like, you could do a strain graphic and then you could put it on a shirt, and like people, this was just like a new thing, cultural thing that was happening. And
For sure.
we were just, in that moment, we were like, yeah, this is obviously like something we should do.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, we made the logo beanies. We made some hats. We had some regular logo tees, and yeah, it was kicking. It was working really well.
So
all
what was
together.
it like to go from just having merch to going and pitching it to stores? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah. What was it like?
I've always wanted to have like a super impactful lifestyle brand. And so it was amazing. It was amazing seeing the reception from the stores, the people wearing it. I mean, it's still pretty surreal that our clothing is in 700 Zoomies stores,
Crazy.
and we're about to do even more than we've ever done internationally and basically globally, exporting not only cannabis but also our clothing to
sure.
all these new markets.
And did they give you any kind of pushback being a cannabis brand?
Yes, there definitely is. In Zoomies, you can't really do a lot of like super over the top cannabis like designs and stuff.
Okay.
So there has been some times where they send it back and say, hey, can you change this a little bit, and then we do.
Dope.
Yeah.
Very cool. So that kind of relationship is pretty easy, in as far as they tell you what can and what can't go, and then boom, you just make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Awesome. I want to bring it back just a little bit to the growing days, because we talked a little bit about a story that you guys wanted to talk about on the podcast. I know you had said you had a bunch of like grows or houses, and you had an ex-partner that pretty much you had to kick out, huh? So you want to tell that story?
Yeah, that. So that was actually illegal, like a literal. That was our first. That was when we got our license. So, but I could back up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got our license, and DCR continuously made these deadlines where you would have to have like a building, or you would have to have some sort of payment or something due at certain dates. So eventually we were coming up on one of those deadlines, and we had to literally make a handshake deal. We like had met somebody, this older woman, and she had some she
our
had,
attorney introduced us to these people.
Okay.
as a trustworthy
Because what California kept doing, the DCC kept doing, is saying, you need to do this by this day or you're going to lose your license.
Okay.
And then it would come and pass and no one lost their license. But we wanted to follow the rules and not lose our license. So our attorney came up on these other people that they had this building that they were renting, and like they had already lost the license that they were trying to use, and they needed a new license, and we were going to lose our license if we didn't go put it somewhere. And so we did this 50-50 deal with them.
like, hi, nice to meet you. Like, okay, we're in bed together. Let's go.
Yeah,
like,
and I think we even gave them 51.
They had 51.
Because they had,
we had to get the deal done.
They had all this money invested into this whole building and everything, and then it was just like, the whole thing was a disaster, man. Their point person was like doing heroin and speed or coke or something.
Wonderful.
So he would like go in the we had access to the security cameras, so he would like go in the bathroom for like 3 hours, and then he would come out and like go over to this table and like snort lines off of it, and then leave. And it was like, okay, well, we brought this to the attention of the investor, like, yo, this guy's like clearly on doing crazy shit. We dug through the garbage, we found a bunch of weirdo like drug related shit, and we're like, yo, like we
can't have this happening.
Yeah, this is like, this is our license. Like, we're not trying to like lose this shit. Like we hadn't even really like put them on it yet, and so they
didn't like that.
They were like, no, they were like, at first they were like, oh, cool, we're gonna like look into this, and then like 2 weeks later they were like, no, it's you guys, it's your fault. Like, you guys are the problem. Like, this guy's an angel and you guys are the devil. And it was like, that's crazy. Okay, this is fucking weird. And then after that, it was pretty much, did we just bail on them? I don't remember.
They tried to like lock us out of the building. They tried to lock us out of the building, and we had one of those amazing deadlines coming up from DCR where you can finally get your like provisional license when they did this inspection, and all they needed to do was come look in this lockbox and see that we had a camera in there. And so we set that up. We broke into the building, our own building. We set up the camera. We broke into like the little lockbox area, and as we were doing that, one of the partners came to the building.
This new guy.
Yeah.
That didn't have shit to do with anything.
Uh-oh. We didn't even really know that he existed. Like I kind of knew. I was like, oh, I see somebody new, like on the cameras and stuff. But he came into the building and he tried to stop everything that we were doing. It was a huge confrontation. He got in Sean's face. I got in between them two. The cops were called, and we got our license.
Yeah. Then DCR shows up. During all this shit's going on. DCR shows up, does the inspection.
Yeah.
While fucking, everyone's fucking freaking out. And we're like, we just explained to them, like, no, dude, like, we're going to get our license. We're going to get it approved. And then we're going to.
So we don't lose it.
Yeah. And then we're going to. They were suing. This is what they did. After we, I remember now. After we told them about this dude doing drugs, they were like, we're suing you to leave. And so they did this lawsuit. But all it said was we had to leave.
Yeah.
And we couldn't come back. Just me, because we were on the lease.
Gotcha.
And so they like evicted us or whatever you want, like kicked us off the lease essentially and said you can't come back.
When we're the operators with the license that know the industry, and they're just like investors that really knew nothing.
Yeah, it was crazy. So so then that's what led up to the day where we were locked out of the building because they were like suing us to get out. So I think we had a key to get in the back door, but then this lockbox, we like drilled out the locks to get in there to fucking put up the camera. And the DCR comes during all this shit. They do the inspection. They're like, cool, great. Here you
Sign
go.
off.
Boom.
There you go.
Then as soon as DCR leaves, their fucking joke of a crackerjack lawyer, you know, pulls out the lawsuit and he's like, "Here, sign the shit," and we're like, "Yeah, cool, great, fucking peace. See you guys later."
Got our license. Yeah.
Yep.
But they stay.
Okay.
And the license is tied to the building.
They stay and they start operating.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're operating sort of now they
It's
they
like a
have the
gray
license. They're not using metric or anything. They're trapping, but because there's a license tied to the building, no one's
Bothering them.
bothering them.
Got you.
And so they operate for
6 months.
yeah.
We get a phone call from the fire marshal. Hey, your building's on fire.
Holy shit.
Their building caught on fire with our
Damn.
license attached to it.
Yeah, they're like, is this a legal cannabis grow? Is there a license? And we're like, yeah, there is. And he's like, all right, cool, bye.
Nothing happened.
Wow.
No one got arrested.
That's
no one got in
crazy.
trouble.
No.
See, so all this shit, like, that's a crazy story. You know, that sounds like something where people definitely would have went to jail. It's like, nah, it was all legal. Oh, we have no other questions.
And so then, but they did cut the power to the building, and they like red tagged it.
Okay.
And even before that, the building, the build out was never built to code, and so
Clearly.
there was all this crazy, piers and concrete shit and like supports and all this stuff that needed to get, all this other money that needed to get dumped in the building that nobody wanted to pay for.
Yeah.
And so, so then it burns down. They cut the power. The landlord, who's shiesty as fuck, he's out his money. These people are pissed. They leave. This other investor is gone, and then our license is stuck there. They
Okay.
won't let the LA will not let us move the license to any other neighborhood. And so this neighborhood where it's at is like, where are we right now?
We're in
Northridge, Reseda. So it's like very close to here. Our neighborhood is Panorama and like in Northridge.
Down the
And
block,
there's like no commercial buildings that are available.
Yeah.
Like none. And so there's like this one street that where our building was is like the main industrial area for the whole neighborhood plan or whatever. And
Okay.
so our license is just stuck at this building. We can't find another building to move it to. And then
And the original owner, if he wants to work with us again, he wants us to fix the roof and fix all the fire stuff that happened that was like totally out of our control.
Yeah.
so it's like we're just like really just in a bad place with the license. So we just, we kind of went back. That's when we did our first. So right after that fire, I think is when we did our first legal drop. We had Craft Farmer grew our genetics out for us.
Okay.
Up
Yeah.
in NorCal. We had some partners here in LA buy all the flour off of him, and we dropped in our camo bags. That was our first like rec drop. Well, second wave. The first wave. So you were able to sell on rec when it first passed through this loophole of like if they had the inventory before Prop 64 went into effect, they were still able to sell through it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that lasted, they had
Had a lot of
they had
inventory.
time to sell the inventory. They had
sure,
like
for
2
sure.
years. And so from like 2017 to 2019, that loophole existed. And then like in 2020, or 2019, when was our first drop?
I don't remember the year.
Yeah.
So that's when the fire was, like 2019, 2020?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was before COVID.
So that must have been a crazy feeling, all that going on, and then having your first drop go into the market. Like,
Well, I mean,
This whole thing has been a complete roller coaster
Uh-huh.
of ups and downs.
crazy.
we did our own cultivation and our own drops, like at Jungle Boys, at Cookies Maywood, at Dr. Green Thumb Silmar, and a few other stores that we hand packed ourselves and labeled the jars and did
Trimmed it up like 8 months pregnant,
Wow.
just getting it
grew
done.
That's hustle.
Grew the flower, got it tested, passed the testing, did all that shit ourselves. So
Beautiful.
yeah. like literally ourselves, like us two.
God bless.
You know, we were small batch at that time before that was a thing, and we were doing it. And so then this drop with this craft farmer stuff, we had a lot of attention. A lot of people wanted to be involved with the distribution and like buying up the product. It was going to all the Canis Silmar and all the cookie stores and Melrose and all these stores. And we did like $1 million in like a few months.
Wow.
And but we didn't make any money, and it was like, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
And so that partnership ended pretty quickly.
Fucking A.
Get good lawyers and have good, solid contracts.
Yeah,
always.
For sure.
That's something that we've learned along
but also
this way.
like, you know, you could work through shit, even adversarial, like weird shit. You can, you know, like if you have a contract, you can enforce it. Like you can like it sucks. You want to work with people you like, but you can work through shit. Like as long as you didn't sign something like super stupid, like you can make money. Like you can figure it out. It's worth it. Like at that time, knowing what we know now, I think we would have tried to work through it a lot more, and like we would have did it a little different, and we would have kept that momentum up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, but at that time, it was just what we really wanted to do, and what we had our like hearts set on was like running our license and doing our own product and growing our own strains and doing it. You know, doing that, and it just couldn't. We just fucking couldn't. So we did that drop. You know, we did a few months. We did over $1 million in sales pretty quickly, and then we went back to chasing our license. And we got investors. We got a bunch of people, and it was just like that landlord. It was just difficult. It was just like there was no buildings. It was just a whole nother just chasing our tail bullshit. And
we didn't want the brand to die. You know, we had a lot of momentum with the brand. So we made the decision to really focus on the brand and like kind of let others do the cultivation for us of our strains.
Okay.
And that's the model pretty much that we've been using moving forward with not only the California market, but the other markets that we're currently in. And it's working really well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's definitely talk about that. Now, fast forward to 2025. You guys are in multiple states. Obviously, like you said, you're in over 700 Zoomies, and you're also going international, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So talk about that a little bit.
So we're currently in not only California, but Nevada and Massachusetts as well. We are, I think this airs after PuffCon. So at PuffCon, we're actually going to be with our partners High Rise, and we are launching in Oklahoma for October 3rd, October 4th. Shout out to Drew and Eddie from High Rise.
Yeah.
Shout out to High Rise.
Shout out.
Halloween, we are expecting to launch in Michigan.
Okay.
Super cool.
Michigan's a cool market.
It's a great market. You know, this is another reason you need really solid contracts is we've had a deal for like 5 years and they just basically sat on it.
In Michigan.
Yeah, in Michigan. And so we had to, you know, legally end that, and we had to find new partnership, and we found a really great one. Shout out to Shane on that one.
There you go.
And we also just signed for Canada. We're going to be launching in Canada and doing exporting all over the world.
Yep.
From Canada.
From Canada. Yep. That's
so I hear that's the thing. Like, obviously, we have a lot of pushback with our laws here, but Canada does not.
Yeah, but
so
it might not all be different. It might not all be fucking glitter and rainbows.
We just heard from our lawyer Chris that you can be
his client was denied entry back into the U.S. and he's a citizen, like a U.S. citizen, and because selling drugs, international drug trafficking, it's not legal in our country.
Here. So like we just kind of learned about that, but we haven't had any issues with that so far. And it's so different. Like you actually sell weed to the government, and then the government sells it to the stores, and so you have to like submit all your products, and you have to like really be in touch with the government and talking to them.
But you get paid.
There you go. It's not
People
like a
pay
shop.
their fucking bills. The government won't stiff you.
There's no terms with the government over there?
No.
That's good. That's good.
It doesn't, 30 days doesn't turn into 120 days. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So wow, that's who would have thought 5 years ago that we would have been in a position to be even considering this conversation, you know?
Right?
Yeah,
It's a dream come true, honestly, because not only is it going to be, you know, the cannabis, we're going to be doing the clothing as well.
Beautiful.
And we're really excited about that. And there's so many like really great things to come.
Very cool. I think we had mentioned this might come out around like Thanksgiving. So do you guys have anything going on right around then? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, shout out turkey and mashed potatoes.
Fuck yeah.
It's probably going to be right before MJ Biz. We're planning on kind of setting up our brand new 10 by 20 castle booth that's going to be premiering at PuffCon.
Okay.
So that's going to be really fun. And so we're going to hopefully be setting up at MJ Biz and just meeting more people and doing more deals. And
Green Wednesday, go out, support,
shop,
pick up some flour, pick up some pre-rolls. We got the hash infused 5-packs, 2-packs, and all the flour here in California. And, you know, we're also active in Nevada, Massachusetts, and, you know, Oklahoma will be online and Michigan. So if you're in one of those places,
awesome,
check us out.
Any new strains or products hitting the market anytime soon?
Yeah, we're dropping a live resin vape.
Okay.
Here in California, we're just finalizing the packaging. That's going to be a 1 gram disposable, rechargeable.
Beautiful.
And then all-in-one rechargeable. And then Nevada, we're dropping in 2 gram. That's going to be a live resin blend. We're excited about that.
Is there limits like internationally?
Internationally for what? Like how much?
Grams, 2 grams?
Yeah, there's everyone has limits, right? And so Nevada's funny. They had their per package limit was 800 milligrams, so you could do like a 0.8.
Okay.
Of like, you could do a 0.8 of 100% THC, but like nobody can do that, right? So, but people are still sticking with 0.8 just so that there was some buffer. There was some 0.9s on some stuff that was like more terpy.
Okay.
And then they just raised it to 3,500 milligrams per package.
There you go. Wow.
So, and that took a long time for them to get to that point. So now you could serve 1/8 of distillate to your loyal customers.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's the same in Michigan as well.
I was going to say Michigan. I was there recently for the first time. They still have like the deli style weed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was impressed. The weed wasn't bad.
It's good over there.
But they also had no limits on like their edibles and shit. So I was like, yo, let me get that one. And it was a 200 milligram, one gummy, 200 milligrams. I took that shit. Holy shit. I was high shit. Right before the plane, I was like, oh yeah.
I don't do a lot of edibles. I was drinking these uninfused versions of these drinks at Hall of Flowers in Ventura.
Okay.
And they gave me a bunch to leave with. They were like, oh, here, take all these.
Yeah.
And I cracked one on the way home, and I drank like the whole thing. It was like a 50 milligram dose. Okay. And we went and ate it In-N-Out. And then when I came out, I was like, man, I got like cotton mouth, bro. Like, what?
The edibles, something about
it. What did we do? And I'm like, oh, fuck. That drink must have been infused. And I went back and checked it, and it was like, it's just so I don't know the word, but it's just so like, why does a drink make you have a dry mouth? Like that should not make sense. That shit should not work like that.
I agree, but sometimes the edibles do. Like I've had that feeling as well. I was in the fucking airport, like, damn, now I need a drink, and now you gotta spend $8 on a water bottle.
Oh shit, yeah. The airport's no joke. So,
but yeah, so we appreciate you guys coming, sharing your story. It's, I'm sure, a lot more to it. But any last things that you want the people to know before we do wrap up over here?
Support legacy. You gotta support legacy brands. You gotta support the people that have been doing it for years, and just keep that in mind when you're buying your flower and when who you're supporting out there. Absolutely,
definitely support the people that have been doing it forever. We actually do have a couple more questions. I apologize. I didn't see these up there. So what is your guys' feeling on rescheduling here in America? And do you think it will happen anytime in the next 6 to 12 months?
I could go deep on some, just like on a tangent, and I'll try to keep it short, but like, been looking into like, prohibition, like the alcohol shit that happened.
Absolutely.
And
I feel like it's going to be very similar.
It took our country like 60 years to pass it.
Long time.
You know, people think it just happened. It only lasted like 4 or 5 years. And it was a state to state thing before they passed it, right? So I think like it was like 30 something states were already like basically had passed their own version of prohibition before it finally, you know, happened.
Okay.
So, and then when it did happen in our country, we constitutionally like banned it. A lot of other countries followed suit. So I think that the reverse of that is most likely what will happen. And then I think I think that we're going to have to get weed from other countries for a little bit, because there's just not going to be like, if they fully legally federalized it, like Canada could import weed into here tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And I think that we wouldn't have enough for our country, just like legally, right? There's this framework for it when it exists on day one.
For sure.
But Canada's does. So I just think there's going to be this weird transition. But as far as descheduling, I haven't looked into like what that means. If there's more financing, I think that's good. I think people should pay their bills.
For sure.
Even if they have to borrow money from someone else.
Hey.
And I think that more shit needs to be done, right? Like the social club lounges need to exist. Like there needs to be, I think the culture is changing. I think there needs to be, more of a lifestyle element to consumption, and that's more normalized. I think,
like alcohol.
Yeah. It has to exist. I don't think that people should be forced to go, out in the woods or whatever, even though that's amazing. And
you should go
touch grass. Yeah. But like, I think that, for it to really be integrated fully, the social aspects of it need to get built out. And I think that, hopefully through descheduling, there'll be money for that, for those people that want to do it.
And I think that'll be a beautiful thing too, because I've been to a couple lounges, and especially the new one down in San Diego, Sessions by the Bay. That's the kind of vibe I want, like just a culture of people that are good people doing what they want to do and not being judged for it, So
yeah,
cool.
I mean, I could see like a lot of co-working places, a lot of like hybrid restaurant areas being like, super consumption friendly.
For sure.
That you could maybe, it's such wonky shit. You have to purchase like on site and you can't leave with it, or you have to like, or it's BYB and then it's like, but you have to pay to come in. It's just like, there's just no good method to it right now.
Yeah.
So I think that when that gets figured out, I think it'll be a big deal. And then also just like being integrated, like we were just in Vegas for, at Planet 13 for Zach, shout out Zach. We have a deal with them coming through shortly.
Okay.
That, his birthday was inside, the club, and it was just like the dispensary's there. They have a bar in the same building. It's like they're not attached. They're not the same premises, so they're allowed to have the bar. But it's like, man, why can't this all just
of course
be integrated, right? And that's the future, right? Like
that's the dream. That's the day.
Like when everyone can just partake of like
Absolutely.
whatever it is.
Imagine those Vegas casinos where you're allowed to smoke cigarettes. You're also allowed to smoke weed. But
yeah, I mean,
that'd be great.
It's a no-brainer.
And now you just mentioned that partnership. How do you guys go about choosing your partners?
It's hard.
I'm sure.
It's hard. We have a lot of people that come forward that don't have the same vision as us. So, it really takes time to figure out who people are. We're definitely never going to do a handshake deal like we did before. We learned the hard way with that one.
Yep.
So, it just really takes a lot of vibing, a lot of like, you get to know them and you try and talk, you have a lot of conversations, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, and it doesn't.
Yeah. And I mean, most of these at this point, most people are coming with references through our network, through a friend of a friend, and it's pretty easy to sort of get an idea of like the caliber of these people, right? Like, and like what their intentions are.
For sure.
You have to watch how they work,
You know,
for sure.
for the most part. And so I think that it's hardest in the beginning, and then as your network grows and you have more exposure to more people, and you know, definitely move around, talk to a lot of people, but like the first offer isn't always the one that you should go with.
For sure.
And you know, but in the beginning, you know, I would roll the dice. There's no perfect partnership.
Absolutely.
So expecting it to just waiting for like the perfect thing is just like a waste of
And you
time.
kind of got to see how they move through difficult situations, not just the easy, like coffee shop talking. You got to like, you know, spend some time and really see how they move, and they need to see how we move and what we respect and how we act. So yeah.
So yeah, just gotta be particular and see the values of the people that you're working with.
Shout out to all our partners. We love them all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're amazing.
We got some good ones finally.
Good. Well, I hope nothing but success in all your ventures in the other states and the other countries as well. I learned a hell of a lot about your brand today, so I'm sure that other people did as well. We appreciate you coming out. Shout out if you have a website, your social media, where can the people find you?
Our website is yourhighnessla.com. You can find us there. That's where we won't get deleted. You know how that is.
For sure.
We also use X, and we do use Instagram. Same, Your Highness LA. And my personal is YHLA_B. My name is Becky. I go by B sometimes.
Perfect.
And yeah.
At Your Highness LA, at Your Highness Clothing,
Yeah, clothing.
at YHLAB. Do not come on B's DMs calling her Wyla. Don't come into reality in person and say, "Where's Wyla at?" Because I don't know what you're talking about, and B, it's YHLA. All right, it's
Your
not
Highness
it's
LA,
not a name.
Reverend LA,
It's
you
not a
know.
name, but I don't know. Let us know.
Like 3 people have been like, Wyla? Your name's Wyla,
Yeah,
right?
let us know if Wyla is a thing.
Hilarious. You
we'll
got to make
figure
it a thing
out.
now.
Yeah.
People ask for
man.
it. All right. Well, that's it for today's episode. Go tell your mother, your brother, your sister, your mistress, whoever needs to know about it. We got some pretty good stories over here. But we will see you next time.
I just had the bluest dream that you've ever seen, and I can't believe that shit was green, cause it hit so clean, and my history is a mystery. I don't give a fuck, I just hit the tree on the 5th degree. We don't pit for free. If you don't got 5, shit, get up and leave.